7 years had passed since our paths last crossed, yet when her eyes met mine it felt as though time folded into a single heartbeat. "It's been a while," I said, keeping my tone steady. Her gaze slid past me to the woman at my side. "My wife," I added. The blood drained from her face instantly, as if she'd just encountered a ghost, or something worse. She didn't speak, didn't need to. The fear flickering in her eyes spoke for her. Without finishing her wine or paying her bill, she bolted from the restaurant. Moments later, my phone vibrated. Her name lit up the screen, followed by a message. "Leave her now. Your wife is." It ended abruptly, but I didn't need the rest. I leaned back in my chair, letting the weight of it all settle, the corner of my mouth tugging into a faint smile. At 27, I had been all ambition, driven but still naive. Back then she was my partner, my confidant, the place I thought was safe. Or so I believed. In the quiet hours past midnight, we spun plans together, our own home, children, growing old side by side. She called me her rock, her forever. I believed her. Looking back, the cracks had always been there. The way her eyes darted to her phone, assuming I wouldn't notice. Sudden business trips that appeared out of nowhere. The change in her laugh when she was texting someone else. Subtle signs. Hairline fractures. I ignored them. Love blinds, but betrayal sharpens vision. The truth didn't arrive through a fight. It slipped in quietly, by accident. A wrinkled hotel receipt buried in her purse. Dinner for two at a place I'd never been. A client meeting on her calendar that matched the date perfectly. I didn't explode. I didn't confront. I watched. The late-night calls she dismissed as work. The unfamiliar perfume clinging to her clothes. Her phone set face down on the table. And then the proof I couldn't deny. A hotel keycard tossed carelessly into her wallet. That night, when she said she was staying at her sister's, I followed. I saw them. Her with the man I'd called my best friend. His hands on her like they'd always belonged. The sight etched itself into me, but I refused to let rage consume me. Patience became my weapon. Confrontation brings chaos. Revenge requires precision. For 6 months, I laid the groundwork. I gathered evidence, phone logs, bank statements, emails. Every dinner, every trip, every betrayal documented. I hired a private investigator who left no trace. Quietly, I moved money into accounts only under my name. I rewrote wills, adjusted contracts, updated insurance. Piece by piece, I dismantled the foundation she thought she owned, while she believed she still controlled mine. And I waited. Because patience cuts deeper than fury ever could. When I finally filed for divorce, she never saw it coming. She expected a broken man, desperate for answers. Instead, she faced undeniable proof, dates, photos, receipts. My lawyer dismantled her defenses before she could speak. She left with nothing. No house. No car. No claim to the business. She had planned to live off me forever. I gave her nothing in return. No shouts. No insults. Not even an explanation. The last words she ever heard from me in that courtroom were stripped bare. "It's over." 7 years later, there she was again. Age clung to her face despite the makeup layered on top. I sat steady, calm, my hand resting lightly over my wife's. But it wasn't me that shattered her composure. It was her. The moment her eyes landed on my wife, her body locked up. Her breath caught. Her hands trembled as though she'd just seen death itself. She couldn't remain another second. She bolted. Then came the message. "Leave her now." The words ended mid-sentence, fear swallowing the rest. And suddenly, everything aligned. The man she betrayed me with, my so-called best friend, hadn't stayed true to her either. He had left her for someone else. And that someone else, the woman he chose over her, was the very woman seated beside me now. My wife. Coincidence? Not at all. After the divorce, I sought her out. The woman my ex had been traded for. I didn't lure her. I didn't hurry. I waited. I listened when he dismissed her. I noticed when he treated her as if she were invisible. She came to me willingly, wounded and disappointed. At first, I won't deny it, she was part of my revenge. A way to turn the knife back on those who had driven it through me. But vengeance has a way of transforming when you least expect it. What began as strategy took root. Affection grew where calculation once lived. She became my real partner, no deceit, no shadows, no hidden blades. That night, watching my ex-wife unravel at the sight of us together, I realized I had won twice. Justice and love. Around us, the restaurant carried on. Glasses chimed, waiters drifted by, laughter spilled through the air. Her absence was the only hollow space left behind. I glanced at my phone one last time at her fractured plea, a half-finished cry from a woman who once thought she could never be touched. I erased it. No answer given. My wife leaned closer, whispering if I was all right. I nodded. Better than all right. Because revenge, when timed with patience and carved with precision, doesn't just scar the betrayer, it restores balance. I raised my glass in a quiet toast and spoke words meant only for myself. You once took everything from me. Tonight, I reclaimed it all.